who will be talking about merging SAP SuccessFactors and COVID data. And afterwards, we will hear from Daniel Graverson sharing his experiences with the Hack to Build event. So, very exciting hour coming up. But what's going on in the content tracks?
There's a lot going on in the content tracks. So as you know, we have 8 different content tracks, and I picked and chose a couple I want to highlight. First up would be the IIS 110, Experience SAP Fiori for iOS and Android, and that's really dear to me. As you probably know, I love mobile. So check that out. It's all about learning about the latest evolution of the SAP Fiori design system for iOS and Android. Also, the DT112, here the latest about SAP S4HANA Cloud and Rise with SAP. So it's all about getting strategic updates on the newest enhancements to SAP S4HANA Cloud and the elements of the Rise with SAP package, including business process intelligence. Another one I really like is the DT108, choose the optimal path for transitioning to SAP S4HANA Cloud. Which is about exploring the key techniques and steps required to complete the deployment of SAP S4HANA Cloud and bring intelligent ERP to life. Then also up the ISP 109, connect people across intelligent enterprise, and that's all about hearing successful customers go live stories about leveraging the built-in suite qualities to connect SAP SuccessFactors solutions and SAP S4HANA Cloud. So that's perfectly connecting to our SAP SuccessFactors stories we heard before. And then the last one would be the INT 104, Realize an Intelligent Enterprise with SAP AI Core and SAP AI Launchpad. And that's about discovering how SAP AI Core and SAP AI Launchpad helps SAP partners and customers in realizing intelligent scenarios.
Great. So much content. There really is just a massive amount of excellent content going on both in Channel 1 and in the content tracks. So thank you for sharing those highlights. And this is not our first community talk of TechEd, obviously, but we did have several yesterday. And you and I spoke with Mike Doyle and Tammy Powless already. So if you missed that session, it's also a really good one to watch the replay of. Lots of just nice insights and hearing from the community. So yeah, speaking of the SAP community, do you want to maybe give just a quick demo of what people can find there, just to give them an overview in terms of if you've asked questions in the Q&A, for example, and you want to know where you can post those questions if they didn't get answered in the live Q&A, maybe you can show that section.
I can do that.
Okay.
I can do that. So as you know, the SAP Community website is the perfect place for you to get started, getting your questions answered, have a conversation started, not only with the community, but also, for example, with SAP employees and us as the SAP developer advocates. And you can see my screen right now. And this is the landing page for the community. And what I really like about this is the numbers up here. So you can see how many active SAP community users we got. Also the visits per day, question answers, and so on. Also, you get your featured blog posts right here. So be up to date with the newest and greatest blog posts, which get posted on the community. And then here on the right-hand side, you have the Community Voice newsletter. So right now, it's all about Devtoberfest, as it was happening, and I think still is. And then down here, that I like a lot, is the featured missions. And the featured missions allow you to complete and participate in a mission and earn a badge if you complete that successfully. So right now it's about Casimir, the SAP TechEd Cat. So what they want us to do, and you, is post your personal Casimir gadgets on social media and tag that under the hashtag SAP TechEd1. So make sure you do that. Also, as we said, it's about getting your questions answered. So you want to check out the answer sections where you can ask a question, and then some expert from the community or from SAP will help you get your question answered.
And like you said, I mean, there's 3 million people as part of the community, right? So for sure there will be somebody to help. And as you'll see coming up in these SAP community talks, people are active and people enjoy the SAP community. So it's definitely worthwhile to check out. There's lots of networking opportunities. I mean, really the coffee corner sessions, the SAP Tech Ed group that's new this year, you might have seen that in one of the other sessions where you can go and post your impressions of this year's event and just share your experiences overall. Let us know your feedback, what you're thinking of what's going on. So definitely worthwhile to take a look and get active in the community, earn some badges, boost your reputation so that people also know you as an expert and what people can come to you on and connect with you with. So definitely highly recommend that you check it out. But let's go ahead. We're going to start off now with our first SAP Community Talk of the hour with Danielle Larocca. So let me give you just a quick introduction to her. So Danielle has worked in the SAP HCM space for over 25 years and currently serves as an active SAP mentor and SuccessFactors confidant. She travels the globe speaking with customers at conferences to share the latest technology advancements in HCM and reporting and analytics. Danielle has also authored 4 best-selling books on SAP, is the technical editor for the SAP Professional Journal, and often serves as the voice of the expert on SAP Insider's Ask the Expert series for HR. She is certified in both SAP and SuccessFactors technologies, so please give Danielle a warm welcome. Hi, Danielle.
Hey, Danielle.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's nice to see you. It's great to see you. Welcome to the SAP Tech Ed home.
Thank you. You're doing a great job.
Have you enjoyed the event so far? Have you caught some of the sessions?
I have. There's a lot of content to go through, but I've been enjoying it.
Good. Great. Well, let's go ahead and kick off into your community talk here. So your session today is on the topic of reporting and analytics, and specifically how customers were able to leverage and merge COVID data provided by the World Health Organization with critical employee HR and payroll data. So could you please first tell us how this customer requirement came about?
It was actually pretty organic. So we've been having the same telephone conversations that you've probably been having with customers, which is usually, has there been an impact on the business? How much of a concern is it with what's going on with COVID? And we knew the scientific data existed because we saw it every night on the news. So what one of the architects at Epius did is they went to the World Health Organization website and they saw how easy it was to download the data. And from there, they just picked what type of data they wanted to download. And it's whether it was location or geography or age group or nationalities, and of course, the actual case and morbidity statistics. What they did then was align that data with the objects that exist in SuccessFactors Employee Central Payroll. And after that, it was quite simple. It just gave them the opportunity to merge that data together to give the organization more information to drive better decision-making. 2 of the most popular use cases we saw were companies seeking to use that data from the World Health Organization for COVID-19 to make decisions about not only financial impacts, but when to reopen the business. One of the examples was they had done it for leave liability costs, and another was a survey of employee data.
Great, thank you. And you mentioned at least 2 customer scenarios there, so where they used the COVID data. And the first one was around leave liability reporting. So what is that exactly, and why is it important to the financial health of an organization?
The fast answer is leave liability reporting is really just how many days of banked vacation or leave each employee has that could be turned into cash or taken. So many organizations rely on this leave liability reporting to identify trends and absences or for costing purposes. They evaluate the liability and the absence history, and it basically calculates to help with administration and of all things employee balances and leave. However, during the pandemic, determining the outstanding employee leave balance can really be critical. So what if an employer decided to force everyone to take all of their vacation? Or what if all the employees decided they wanted to cash out at once? Being able to calculate this outstanding debt for employees throughout the whole organization, but also in the hotspots identified by the COVID data based on the World Health Organization was really critical to them to understand what impacts might happen. And the customer was able to use that information to make good decisions.
Yeah, no, and that's really powerful in terms of to be able to take data that's coming in, from the World Health Organization and bring that into the business and use it in a way to actually predict and to plan. So it's great. You spoke about another example where this data could be used to assist companies that involved survey data. And as you know, of course, we've made large investments in Qualtrics, and the concept of experience management is critical for us here at SAP SuccessFactors. So what type of data was included in the survey?
That was an interesting one. So that customer, they wanted to not only know where the hotspots were from the World Health Organization data, but they wanted to survey their employees and say, would you be willing to come back? So they made a survey. They actually used, I think it was like a Google form, and they created an online survey, and they asked the customers 3 questions. 1, do you wish to disclose your immunization status? If yes, are you immunized? And do you want to return to in-person work? And they took that data and they married that up against the data from the World Health Organization. What was also interesting is because it's the payroll system and it's the system of record, we have all types of information about their age, their demographic, even in some countries, their disability status. So we could put all of that data together and say, you know what, this will help us build our plan for understanding when to reopen. In this particular case, the customer used that survey data in conjunction with the COVID data and made some good decisions for the organization.
So how exactly does that all work from a technical perspective?
That's a good question. The first part is easy. You just go to one of the websites that has the COVID data. We've been using the World Health Organization, and you could simply Google that. But you select the type of data you want to download. You can even create a repeatable process so that you're continually downloading the latest information. Most of our clients have been selecting the daily COVID-19 cases and basic latitude and longitude. So they can create these geolocation maps. Then we get the incident rate or the testing or morbidity rate, and then we merge that together with gender and ethnicity. So step 1, you go to the website, in this case, World Health Organization, and you download it. The second step is you create a report in your SuccessFactors Employee Central Payroll system. We used the Query Manager tool to create this report. And what we did is we merged it together based on data that existed within both systems. So kind of like what we used to do in the old days with Microsoft Access, we picked a field that existed in the World Health Organization data, like location or latitude and longitude, and we merged that to the same field that exists in the employee payroll system. So we had all of that data in one place. Next, you just visualize it. So in this example, the customer used SAP Analytics Cloud. So they created a new story, Canvas. I heard Chris Payne talking about it in the next section as part of People Analytics. And they select a GeoMap, and then they select Query Manager as the data source. And it basically visualizes a map of all of the statistics that have been provided by the World Health Organization. And it's even interactive in the sense that when you're using SAP Analytics Cloud, you could use it to create things like data insights, where you could see the different areas light up based on the statistics collected. So it was a pretty cool example. So 3 steps. Go to the website, download the data, build a report, visualize it in SAP Analytics Cloud.
Awesome, and thank you for giving the summary. And we actually, Kevin and I did the hour with Irfan talking about SAP Analytics Cloud. And really, it's extremely powerful to see if you have the data and you have a tool to view it visually, it can make a huge difference in planning for the future. So you recently wrote a blog post in the community about people analytics and forming an intelligent human capital management enterprise. Can you share some details about the post and what people can find there?
Sure. I love talking about reporting. There was a really long period of time where there wasn't a lot of new innovation. However, with the acquisition of SuccessFactors and the launch of People Analytics, there is so much information available now in terms of what customers can use for their SAP reporting, for their SAP SuccessFactors hybrid reporting, and for their overall enterprise-wide reporting. So what the blog does, it basically breaks down all the options that you have for all of those different types of reporting and shares links so where you can go to learn more. So I mentioned SAP Analytics Cloud before. It would give an explanation of what SAP Analytics Cloud is used for, and then some links where you can learn how to use it and how to access it.
Great. And I think you mentioned this in your blog post as well, that you get asked this question. I think you even maybe said weekly. But what is the difference between People Analytics and SAP Analytics Cloud, and are they the same?
I do get that question all the time, and I agree, it's confusing. So I put together a blog last year, but with all the changes in terminology and the continued advancement on all things reporting, it does warrant an updated mention. So the easiest way to think of it is People Analytics is designed for your cloud-based human resources reporting within SuccessFactors, and it has a focus on engagement and experience, while SAP Analytics Cloud is for your entire enterprise. So SAP Analytics Cloud may include data from HR and payroll, but also from every other area of the business. So it's part of your larger SAP business technology platform, which makes for an overall intelligent enterprise. The easy soundbite there is People Analytics is for an intelligent HR enterprise, and SAP Analytics Cloud is for an overall intelligent enterprise.
Great. Thank you so much for the great explanation. And you are, of course, very active in the SAP community, and you're also an SAP mentor. Do you want to share just some insights on being an SAP mentor and how you got into that?
Sure. I didn't know what the mentor program was. I've been in this space for 25 years, and I would go to Tech Ed, and there would be all these people with these funny shirts on, and they'd have a big number on the back. And it looked like a soccer team. And I remember asking one of them, Martin Gillet was his name. He's now a retired mentor. I was like, what is an SAP mentor? And basically he explained that it's a program that's been around for a long while that allows you to interact with not only the customers, but you have access to SAP as well to collect information and share feedback from the customers so that SAP has a direct channel to hear what the customers are saying and giving you the opportunity to get some inside information that you could share back with the customers. It's a really nice community of folks. There's two different groups. There's the mentor group, and then there's the, oh my goodness, I forgot the name
champions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The mentors and the champions.
Yeah.
But it's a great program to be involved with. Please check it out on the website.
Yeah, that's awesome. We were just actually showing a demo of the SAP community before you joined, because just to give everybody some insights on where exactly they can find the information on the question and answer section and on the blog post. So of course, we'll have people reach out to connect with you because obviously you are an expert, and it was great to have you here as part of SAP Tech Ed. Are there any sessions you want to highlight for people to point them to, or anything that you found particularly impactful or powerful for this SAP Tech Ed?
I'll give a shout out to a former mentor, a fellow mentor. I saw Tammy's session yesterday, Tammy Paulus, and I thought that was a really great session. If you missed it, please check it out.
All right.
So, one question from my side. Did you see our Casimir the cat in our studio walking around? I mean, I gotta ask.
I absolutely did. But as I know from our pre-call, I had to shut the door in the back, so there's no cat in my video.
Well, thank you so much, Danielle. It was great to have you. I hope you can enjoy some more of the SAP Tech Ed sessions. And yeah, we'll share the link to the post as well in the chat. So a link to your blog post. I'll give the name of that as well. It's Reporting and SAP Human Capital Management, Payroll, and SuccessFactors. So make sure you connect with Danielle. And thank you so much. It was great to see you.
It's great seeing you.
Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I love those ones. They're just...
The community talks are fun, right?
Yeah, just connecting with them and seeing them. And they're just extremely powerful group of people, and they always have so much great information to share. And you could tell that they're truly an expert in their topic. So I think everybody could probably find some power in what Danielle was sharing in terms of how you can use data that's available, you know what I mean? And how are they actually connecting that in with SAP SuccessFactors is great to see.
It's just great having those people in the community with that much of experience with SAP, right? For years and years and years using SAP technology in the systems there, and just like trying to build the next innovative thing. And just hearing their stories is just simply amazing. Yeah,
of course. So we have another guest that's going to come into the studio, though. What is the topic for the next one? His name is Daniel, but what was the topic?
So it's Daniel Graverson, right? And he joined in for the Hack to Build event, and he was actually a winner of that event back in May, I think. And yeah, he's going to tell us his story on how he participated in the event, what he's done there, and his experiences.
So I know a little bit about Hack to Build just from us doing our prep, and I know that it's a very short time frame, right? They only have 10 days. Mm-hmm. So what is some more background on the Hack to Build event?
So basically, the Hack to Build event is an SAP-organized event where you can participate in, and the event itself is really strongly focused on building a solution, leveraging SAP Business Technology Platform, innovating with and for the platform, through like a prototyping phase, but also really focusing on building a full-fledged business solution and really bringing the business value to our customers out there, right? So it's not just the regular hackathon as you might know it. It's really more, it's the whole process of going from a prototyping phase all the way to having a full-fledged solution in the end and bringing that solution into the SAP store at some point, right?
Yeah.
So as I said, Daniel Graverson is a winner of that event, and he achieved building something amazing there in those 10 days, and it's all about hearing his story. And just a little bit of background about Daniel, because he's also an impressive person in the community, because he's a veteran with the SAP community for over 17 years, right?
Oh, wow.
And he worked with the SAP integration there and focuses really on developing solutions in that area. And he works for a company called Fiori in Denmark. I hope I pronounced that right. And they are focusing on automating processes around the SAP process integration and the SAP integration suite, as well as the cloud integration. And the newest product he is working on helps you to migrate the SAP process integration to cloud integration. And I would say we just welcome him here right in the studio to get our questions answered.
Hi, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel, how are you doing?
Hi, thanks for having me. It's great being here and hopefully share a little about our journey.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's great to have
Thanks
you. Welcome to the SAP Tech at Home. Have you been enjoying Tech Ed so far?
Yes, it's been great, and I even got to experience some of the real life going out to a bar with some Tech Ed people last night, so that was good.
Hey, great. That's good to hear.
Cool. Do you want to just dive right in? Because I want to know, what was your motivation to join the Hack to Build event?
So we are creating this tool to automate a lot of repetitive tasks in the SAP integration space. So that's migration, test, delivery. And then I guess 2 years ago, something like that, one of our customers was asking, what about PI to CPI migration? Do you support that? And that put me in the thinking box, like, well, and then I found a way, or I had an idea, a vision about what we could do and what would be possible. But it's one of those things that's like, well, will that even be feasible? Will we be able to create a product that could be used for this? Is it the right time? And will we actually be able to bundle all the technology together? And then the invitation for this Hack to Build came here in May, and it's like, okay, this may be the time we can just focus on creating this, because yeah, that is something that's being asked, and why not spend 2 weeks on just seeing if we can actually create a tool that can do this. So it was, yeah, something we had heard a lot, people that were asking about, but it was also ridiculously difficult actually to figure out if we could actually do it. So it was really good to just have this say, let's focus on doing this.
So we know you get 10 days to actually solve that problem you're facing, right? And really getting into the business challenge there. So how was your experience doing that in that event in such a short amount of time?
Yeah, so yeah, it was quite hectic. So there was like 2 tracks in it. There was that track about creating a business case or plan or idea about what kind of problems we are solving, and will this be sufficient and stuff like that. And then there's the other type about creating a product, well, it was not a product, or a tool that could actually do this in this period of time. And it was quite, yeah, we didn't have that much
pressure.
time left.
Time pressure, just a lot of time pressure. So except of the time pressure you had, did you have like any other challenges you were facing to actually achieve what you wanted to achieve during your implementation phase?
Yeah, we needed to use a new library because we needed to generate a BPMN model, and that was really difficult for us to find a good way to do that. And doing that in a good way was, one of our key challenges in that process. And obviously there was a lot of strange thing we needed to encounter or figure out how to handle. And it was just a lot of small things that we needed to figure out how to do.
And how did you finally overcome these challenges to actually fulfill the requirements and everything you wanted to fulfill?
So I think for the hack to build, I think we created a good prototype there. But then obviously, as you get along and you start saying, okay, now we've created this, there's a long way to go about creating something that can actually be used in a customer site with 15 years of legacy that you need to figure out how to handle.
Cool. So would you say, like with all your experience you have, right, and then the work you do, would you say that they have any advantages going into the event beforehand that helped you achieve that solution?
Yeah. So obviously we came into this event. I had a vision that I needed to communicate to the team about what it is we can build. Why it would work, but I had no idea about how we could actually do it in practice, and that was a challenge. And then another thing, we had prepared well in advance, so we had tools that could do a lot of all the automation that was already a part of the platform. So we did not need to spend time on that. So we only needed to spend time on the developing of the migration tool. Mm-hmm. And then also the team we brought here was also really used to developing around the SAP ecosystem and platforms, because that is what we've been doing for a long period of time.
Cool. So how big was your team actually doing that?
So we are quite a small company. So I think we're like 5 people participating, me and 4 developers. So it was kind of a bet. So for this period of time, it was, okay, let's just stop all the other work we are having and do the minimum support we need to do, and then focus on it. And obviously it's an investment for a company like us to participate in it. But we need to figure out how to do it. So that was the benefit of it.
I mean, that makes it even more impressive with like such a small team to achieve all of what you wanted to achieve and actually win the Hack to Build event itself, right?
Yeah, agreed. Because are there any requirements for the Hack to Build event in terms of how many people you have to have on your team to submit, or?
Well, I think it was, you could participate with up to 5 or 7 people, something like that. Okay. And then there were some requirements about how many projects you had done using SAP integrations for that period. So we did have some requirements, but I think obviously it depends on what your skills are and what type of product solutions you're going to innovate into.
Cool. So you were saying you did finish up the prototype, but what is your current status of the application you were building?
So that was in May. I think in October we were able to get it into the SAP App Center, which I guess makes it a real product. Obviously, there's still a lot of things that we need to figure out how to do. I guess it's one of those products that would never really be finished because there's always way to improve it. But I think right now we do have a good solution that can handle a lot of migration. So right now we're just adding a few extra features to, for instance, automate synchronous migrations. There's some challenges if you have parameters in your mappings that we also have. So there's a lot of small features we will be adding along the way, and obviously making it more robust. So the first couple of clients we were running on, it just failed completely because they had something we did not encounter before. And that was, I guess, also a part of building this robust and ensuring that it really works out there.
Right. I mean, from my development experience is sometimes you just have to fail first in order to succeed in the end, right? So
Yes.
Are there any plans to putting that into the SAP Discovery Center?
Yes. So we got in touch with some people from the Discovery Center and have submitted it for proposal, but I guess we were a little too close to take it before it was submitted. So hopefully it will be delivered soon. But I think, and definitely as we see right now, there's a lot of focus on Discovery Center. So I think that is really a good avenue to position tools like this.
So the process of bringing a product into the SAP Discovery Center is by submission, like just submitting the product there, and then like could you elaborate on the process itself, like for the audience?
So when you get into the Discovery Center as a partner, you have an option to say, okay, I have this product or journey that I want customers to take. Then you can define something like a project plan. What are the different steps? How would you implement this in your scenario? What's the important part here? And then you just say, okay, first try this video, try this to understand the product, understand this. Then let's have a call, let's set it up, do a trial, and then you just schedule all the way through until the customer get the journey or is successful with the tool. And I think that's a good way to visualize what steps you need to be doing for this to work out.
Yeah, and on that note, excuse me, what would be some other like additional resources, or what do you find the most powerful for you in terms of being an active member of the SAP community? What are some resources that you would point people to just in general?
So one of the things that we also was introduced to as a part of winning this, we got a coach or whatever you would call it to navigate some of these things. And there was some programs called App for Growth that helped like social selling. So there's a lot of small programs to help in areas like that. And I think that was one of the key benefits. Also, obviously talking to product management, they also have a stake in this. And we have been communicating quite a lot with them over the last period of time about what our tool and how it can be featured. And obviously it was also on one of the presentations on the integration suite. And yeah, obviously there's also a lot of information on the blogs, and if you're doing a PI to CPI migration, there's a good guide by SAP about all the different things that you need to consider when doing a migration, because it's not just press a button and it's done. Right. You have to think a lot about what's going on.
So would you say, after having that experience now with the Hack to Build event, that you have any ongoing benefits from having participated in the event itself?
Yeah, so obviously, there was getting this coach, being able to understand how to navigate the SAP system or platform, because it's quite complex, and I would never have considered to purchasing our product in the Discovery Center without it or without him. And then because it's something that SAP is looking for, and I guess that's why they're building these or creating these Hack to Build, they also have, and you also have an interest in figure out what we can bring to the table, and that means a lot of extra communication going on. So yeah, meeting with product management about our tool and how it can fit the ecosystem.
Cool. So you would definitely recommend that to other partners as well, participating in the Hack to Build event?
Yes. So obviously it depends on how well the challenge fit into your idea about and division. I think some of them may also be a little more just let's experiment with if we can actually create something in this realm. I think it's an important part to try out. And I guess this is all about learning and failing in a sandbox that doesn't matter that much. So definitely try it out and see if you can create something that matters in your organization.
Great. So now I have to ask you, how many SAP Tech Heads have you attended? Because Kevin said earlier that you've been in part of the community for 17 years, I think you said. So what number is this for you?
I don't know. I have guessed maybe around 20. So I've been doing a lot of doubled, so both Las Vegas and Barcelona a couple of years, because yeah, it's just such a good event to meet people at, and so probably in that area. So it's quite different, this thing about just being at home.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we really appreciate you being here, though, because like you said, it's all about meeting people, and it's been great to have you here, to welcome you to the Tech at Home, for you to share your experience with the Hack to Build event. I think it's really helped motivate people, at least to join that event as well, to try it out for themselves and to see the benefits you've also been experiencing. So thank you so much, Daniel. It was great to see you again, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the SAP Tech Ed event.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye, Daniel. Wow, impressive, right?
Definitely impressive, like all the experience he had, and just going in there with such a small team and achieving what he wanted to achieve, like having a vision, go full on in there and just do it, right? And then actually winning that thing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Pretty amazing.
So if you guys are interested in joining a Hack to Build event in the future, you can find the Hack to Build events on events.sap.com. So that's where the registration and all the additional details you can find, as well as that there's only that 10-day time frame, which just makes it even more time-boxed. But sometimes, like you said, it's not just about learning and failing, but sometimes when we're under those time constraints, it actually can help us, I think, to think creatively and to say, hey, we need to do this right away, and what would be the most powerful. So.
And also, like, if you want to do this, there are multiple ones during the year. So there's not only one Hack to Build event once a year.
Yeah.
There are multiple ones. So go in there, check them out, read more about it on the events platform. And I would say just go in. Like, SAP is also there to help you, as you heard. And it really gives you a huge benefit there to participate in these.
And of course, reach out to Daniel on the SAP community. I'm sure he would be happy to share even more information with you, just like other members there as well. So don't be shy, reach out. And next up, we're actually going to have another one of our student session interviews, which are just such a nice highlight, bring in the fresh faces. So these are interviews that we provide or have pre-recorded with students to share their experience on joining SAP and becoming a part of the SAP ecosystem, joining their team, working in a particular area. And I really think they're a very nice element to the show, especially to round off an hour like this with the SAP community talks, to just talk about different members of the community and their experiences.
And just listening to students and hearing from their experiences just gives you a totally different insight into SAP and the company itself and its mentality, right?
Yep. And we both started as students.
We both did.
I think it takes us back. It's a little bit nostalgic as well to see them and to go, oh, I remember those feelings. I remember being in that position. And you're so nervous at first, but then you so quickly just become immersed in, and just really people take you under their wing and bring you in and make you feel like you're a part of the family right from the start. And I guess that's why both you and I were still here.
We're still here?
Yep.
That's one of the reasons. So do you want to hear the next student session and see what's going on there?
Yeah, let's watch it.
Cool.
Millions of years ago, there was stone and water, wonderful trees, and breathtaking landscapes. And this little fella, this is a unicellular, the ancestor of every living organism on Earth. Okay, let's start again. And this is Günther. He and his generation built the world we know today, the land of milk and honey, based on the mother of all codes, ABAP. It was all well prepared for future generations. People like Kim
It's not only about making more money.
Progress is very, very important.
Definitely quite a curious mind.
Change, innovation.
These young people found new sources of knowledge.
Google for sure. YouTube.
And new languages.
Python, JavaScript,
HTML.
But what about ABAP?
Let's take the best of both worlds and bring them together.
Okay, die Aufzeichnung läuft. 3, 2, 1, weiter. Sorry, ich hatte hier auf Stumm, weil ich euch die Ohren weggenießt hätte.
Ich wollte kurz eine doofe Frage stellen.
Na gut, wenn es so geht. Ich habe bisschen weiße Haare.
Vielleicht kommt das jetzt ins Intro so.
Hi everybody, I'm Rui and with me today I have Sarah Fuchs and Janina Hört. They are students here at SAP and I would like to learn more about their experience in the past and would actually already come up with my first questions towards Sarah and Janina. When and how did you actually start at SAP?
So I actually started only 5 months ago, so I'm quite new to the SAP universe. And I started out and still am part of the comms and marketing team of the T&I board area.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yes, I started around about 2 years ago at SAP, but since I'm studying psychology, I started in HR. But after about half a year there, I wanted to get to know what SAP is actually doing. And so I started at T&I Comms and Marketing, where I am still happily staying. What about you, Rui? When and where did you start at SAP?
Wow, when did I start? It was 2005, already 16 years ago, I guess. So that's quite a long time. Yeah, and had various positions there. So I started with contracts around the Java specification requirements, for those of you who know, from the company Sun, and was working a lot with colleagues from legal and went over to events, developers, and now in the business technology platform for quite some time.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks. So it was unexpected that you asked me something, so that's good. So did you actually had any prior experience on any other cloud platforms before you started with SAP, Janina?
No, I have to say I had no prior experience at all. I could have told you how different regions in the brain are called, but I had no idea at all what cloud platforms are about, what SAP strategy is about developing or anything related. So I really had to get to know the concept of all of this from scratch.
And you, Sarah?
I was actually working at a software company beforehand, so I kind of knew about like cloud platforms, but still the SAP BTP is quite unique, so it takes some time to get to know all its functions and advantages.
So Sarah, so if you're speaking like that, so how did you picture the SAP Business Technology Platform at the beginning when you started with SAP?
I kind of thought of it as like a platform or more like a plate where you have all the solutions laying upon it, but not being connected to each other. It wasn't until I did a open SAP course, which is called BTP in a nutshell, that actually my colleague here co-created. And that's where I found out noticed that you actually have to picture it more like in an environment with a lot of applications and solutions that are connected to each other or can be connected to each other, and businesses can even build upon those.
Wow, so Janina, you were already an open SAP instructor. So that's interesting to know. So what were your first questions regarding the business technology platform from SAP? I mean, if you're doing an open SAP course as an instructor, that might be a quite heavy lift at the beginning, right?
Yeah, of course, it was a great opportunity and a great experience, and I'm very happy that I got the chance to do it. But to be honest, at the beginning when I started in this team, I had kind of no idea. So my first question also really was, what is this SAP BTP? What is it doing? What is it about? But I was lucky enough to have a lot of wonderful colleagues, which answered always and every question I ever answered. And that was quite a big help. And I can say there were a lot of questions. And finally, one of my colleagues explained SAP BTP to me as a city and explained how all the different functions and components play into the big picture, and that everything works in the end together. And yeah, that helped me a lot.
Asking Sarah, so we've already heard from you that you went through the OpenSAP course from Janina around the business technology platform. What else did you actually use on your side to actually read more and learn more about the SAP business technology platform? What helped you really in getting to know the platform? Can you share from your experience?
So I think the first thing I did when I started out at SAP was like hitting the BTP website. So I was looking there to get an overview, to learn about like different functions and everything. And what also helped me a lot, because I'm kind of a visual type person, or more or less, I need always an example for something. And the SAP BTP is quite abstract. So I really was happy to find like the customer stories on our website. So I was actually looking into these, and reading the stories really helped me to picture it like in a better way, or getting to know it better, and actually understanding what businesses can do with it. And I can really recommend it to anyone who likes to read stories about like actual business cases. It's really great.
So a quick test question. What is the link to the BTP webpage?
A sub-page to the SAP.com. I think if you type in SAP.com/BTP, you should get there. Or you can also, I think there's like also longer term, but yeah, BTP should be fine.
Yeah, thanks. That's right. So really, what you're saying is that it also helped you to understand what the business technology platform is also used for from SAP's customers, so that you have a better feeling what is this tool set which is available.
Yeah, there was actually like this one customer story about the Berlin's Charité. I don't know if you've heard of like it, but it was really nice to read about that. It's not only about making more money or whatever, but also like improving the world, making the world a better place. So I really like that story for an example.
Yeah, thanks. How about you, Janina? So what did you learn first, and what helped you really to get to know the platform better, besides the OpenSAP course that you did?
Yes, of course, the OpenSAP course was kind of a great deep dive, but I had a wonderful team and a wonderful project team that was co-working with me, and wonderful speakers, so that was really a great work, and I would recommend this course to everyone. But when I started, first of all, I started with reading the strategy paper, I think, but I have to say that I quickly backtracked there, because it was too confusing in the beginning for me as a total newbie. So I really started to understand the concept around SAP BTP with asking questions and going through already asked ones. For example, why the community. I also listened to old community calls and looked at blog posts. That helped me a lot. And then I used all of these information to kind of navigate through the strategy paper, and step by step I got deeper and deeper into the content.
Yeah, thanks, Janina. So Sarah, what would be your recommendation for anyone who wants to learn more about the SAP Business Technology Platform?
I think when really starting out with it, I think it's always the best idea to start with the BTP website, because you really get a good overview. But if you want to dig deeper, I think the OpenSAP course is great. The BTP in a nutshell course, I really love that one, so I'm a big fan. But yeah, if you need more examples, for example, like I said, the customer stories are great to read. And apart from that, what Janina already mentioned is the SAP Community. So there are a lot of blog posts, and also like already ask questions that you can read through, and if you have a specific question, you can always ask, and the community members are happy to help or guide you to whatever blog article that might already be about that topic. So that's really great. Okay,
cool. So I think also another good resource specifically for developers, also students who might be studying development or software development, is always developers.sap.com. So that's a good way also to start as a techie. Or you go to github.com, where you also have lots of SAP projects there that you can look into. And I think before closing, because you gave us really some good insights about your experience with the business technology platform, I would like to get to know at least one fun fact from you, Sarah and Janina, about yourself. It can be work-related, it doesn't have to be. And to make it easier for you, I will start and then it's on you. So one thing that you might not know about me, I'm older than the internet. So I was born before the internet was there. And I was even born before SAP was founded, which is quite a long time ago. Not much, but still I'm older than SAP.
And how do you feel about that?
I feel great, kind of, because I learned so much at SAP, and I'm so happy that I had such a big portion of my life already within SAP. Because I think one thing that is that you also mentioned beforehand, a pattern, which is that you help each other at SAP a lot. Not only within SAP, we also talk to customers, to partners, to other people who share the same passion like us about technology. I think this is something which I really love with SAP, that people help each other, and we have more than 100,000 friends all over the world who actually help us with our questions. So and challenges and issues and projects that we have. So that's a great thing, right? And my age, let's say, it's always like you feel, I was told. I assume that's kind of right, but I would rather like to be 30 now or 25.
Well, maybe then you would have less experience. I mean, it's always...
Yeah, but I think as long as you are curious, the experience will come anyways. So, and that's also what I hear from both of you that are curious, that although you are students, that you already part of the SAP family, that you're going deeper into the topics. So which is fantastic, which is great. And I hope that you will stay with us along the next 10, 15, 20, 25 years. One fun fact that you might not be aware of. Did you know that I did the second Open SAP course ever?
Before I started my bachelor's degree in psychology, I started the bachelor's degree in biology. Maybe that's an interesting fact around me. I can't play the old card. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to. No, thank you so much, Sarah, Janina, for taking the time talking with me, and for all of you listening in. Thank you so much, and see you. Bye-bye.
What a great student session right there. And we have Lena back. Hey, Lena, how are you doing?
Hi again.
Hello, welcome back.
Thank you.
Got some cool social media stuff up for us?
I have the latest and greatest, really, of course. The last 2 hours, since you saw me last time, I checked on social media, and I'd like to share now with you what we have in store. You guys, that is your last appearance on stage.
Our last appearance for this year's TechEd.
That is sad.
How are you feeling about that?
It was amazing, really. I mean, I'm a loss for words for how much fun we've been having. Great to be with you as my lovely co-host. And thank you to the audience and everybody who joined us. We've had a great time. And Lena, thanks for sharing with the social media. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of SAP TechEd.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us here.
I'll see you later, guys.
See you later. That was really...
Alrighty, so let's start with my first post that Stephanie actually tweeted this morning. So she was able to enjoy a few runs already at the main river here in Frankfurt. So that is our skyline in Frankfurt. She's hoping to sneak in a few final 5K runs before the end of the show. You have 8 hours left, so you have enough time to run again and do your 5K. Hashtag UTFRW. There's plenty of UTFRW hashtags out there. I just love the initiative that Phil Cooley and DJ Adams started last year, and that everyone is joining in to get a little bit of a physical exercise in between our great sessions and brilliant content that we have for you. Then I have a post from Chris Payne. You just saw him in the expert panel about SAP SuccessFactors, and I love that he tweeted about his dog, Lottie. Lottie was actually guarding the door earlier because of no disruptions for Chris, of course, to get when he was recording or when he was live here in Channel 1 for his expert panel. And he hoped that Lottie didn't spot Casimir because he wouldn't have known what then happened. Casimir is still with us, so all good here. Chris actually also then, and this is the proof really how recent our posts are, tweeted just after his expert panel that he hopes he behaved well. You did, Chris, you did a great job. I really loved your presentation and your insights. And I'm sure that you can be back, you will be back next year at our SAP TechEd. Then a post from Uwe with the goat. So Mamiki shared the goat post from Matthias Kemeter yesterday. He posted a goat because he is actually on vacation with his children, and the goat was the only photo that he had without his children. So he posted that goat. And I know that the goat was actually our SAP TechEd mascot a couple of years ago. We now, sadly, it's great that we have Casimir. We exchanged the goat with Casimir. And there's actually, I found that super interesting, a community goat account on Twitter. Go check that out. There is a couple of posts from previous TechEds. For instance, one of the SAP Inside track at the Apfelwein Dachs pub here in Frankfurt. There's a little story behind that. The Apfelwein Dachs pub is actually the very, very pub where the SAP Stammtisch, one of our SAP community events, got founded, and it's still going until today. I will have a remote check-in with one of our SAP mentors later on, so please join me there because he can give you even more insights into the SAP Stammtisch. Then we have Maho tweeted again about the hashtag UTFRW. He has a brilliant outfit for it, so he was running apparently with his mask on, totally on brand, with the best run SAP. That is fitting for a run in the morning, and he's also on brand with his SAP Community hoodie. I'm curious whether you actually ran with your mask, Maho. We can exchange on that in the community later on. Then we have a post by Tobias Meyer, who shared more generically really about Channel 1 and that he's enjoying the questions and talks that we have. And he posted Casimir. So that's why I'm still on brand with my Casimir shirt here. And one last post by Daryl Gray, who started his day with hashtag SAP TechEd session on SAP's integration efforts and customer experiences, optimizing integration approaches to become an intelligent enterprise. And he shared the screenshot with Melina and Josh and Michael Ameling and Philipp Herzig in the integration session that we had earlier. So a lot is happening in the world of social media, and I think we can now get a little bit focused again. And I am happy to introduce our upcoming guest, so to say. We will show you a very, very special YouTuber, writer, and filmmaker. His name is Nathaniel Drew, and Nathaniel likes to experiment. So he has over 1.5 million YouTube followers. He is really experimenting a little bit on how to get organized by journaling, for instance, and what, for example, 1 hour of meditation a day can actually do to your mind. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's get mentally focused together and enjoy Nathaniel Drew.